What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and today we have another episode of Team Spotlight. This episode features a team that was requested last week. This team consists of two characters which recently got brand new uniforms, and they got transformed into very powerful characters. This update and Spec Ops all revolves around their brand new blockbuster movie, Iron Man 3. So without further ado, the team is the Iron Men, featuring Iron Man, MK42, and Iron Patriot. As we begin the action, I'm going to point out what my agent has equipped. First off, he's wearing the Bruiser Power Armor. Secondly, I'm using Iron Man in a Tactician costume. I'm also using War Machine in his Blaster costume. Now these are the class choices that I made when I first bought these alternate outfits. Now I'm pretty pleased with my choice, but I did buy them in their other costumes as well. And I could definitely see how a Tactician War Machine could really damage an opponent that has a blaster on their team. Now I want to briefly show you what my agent has equipped. He has the Nanite Inductive Nailgun. And this is basically to counterattack and to place a shield on him, which will help out some of his other items. Mainly Deflector Fist. Deflector Fist has something called Shield Slam, which says deals extra damage when this character is shielded. It also performs a follow-up attack and has a chance to create a deflector shield when attacking. So that's two items that create a shield and that will increase the damage of the Deflector Fist. Ferric Shield is there for two reasons. One, because it fits in with the Iron Man theme, and two, because it gives a random buff when attacked. And that's why we're using the Orfrost Mace with it, because that will cause opponents to attack you and hopefully give you some good random buffs. Now this team should have no problem taking out most computer battles. In fact, many of the battles will not make it past War Machine's turn, and you'll see why when he's up. Iron Man in his new costume also does really good damage. His Repulsor Cannons can fire twice, and I also have him in a Tactician, so I get to double attack a blaster. We're going to go ahead and use the high energy laser and show you that it can do quite a bit of damage as well. Now that's going to be War Machine. We're going to use the 21 gun salute to go ahead and end this battle. Now he'll fire it twice at the beginning, but if you use a full overcharge, he'll fire it 3 times if needed. Now that's the end of the first battle already. Moving on to the second battle, we're going to face another single wave of enemies. But even on extended battles, they go pretty quickly with this team. The team is just very capable of doing a lot of damage. And they also can take quite a bit of damage when they start proccing their shields. You'll notice that all 3 of these characters are capable of producing shields. My agent due to those first 2 weapons, and Iron Man and War Machine because of passive abilities. Now these proc a lot more often when you're doing PvP battles, I've noticed. I rarely see them when battling the computer. I'm not sure why. Maybe because the battles don't last very long. The Deflector Fist I wasn't really a big fan of, but it definitely does more damage when shielded, so it's doing some decent damage in these battles. With Iron Man, I'm going to go ahead and use this high energy laser again and take both of these guys out in one shot. We're going to go ahead and mix things up and face a different type of enemy for these remaining 2 battles. Right now we're facing 2 blasters and an infiltrator. And you'll notice that we procced Nanite Inductive Nailgun and also There's My Boys, which is one of the coolest abilities in the game. Now that my agent is shielded, we'll see how much Deflector Fist does on his next move. And also if we get a follow-up attack. Now it didn't do that much damage right there, and there's no follow-up attack. And that's kind of what I was talking about when I was saying I wasn't a huge fan of it. But I did notice much bigger hits this time around when I'm using things that shield myself. This 21 gun salute may very well end this battle. If not, Iron Man definitely will on his turn. Okay, so it's Iron Man's turn. We're going to just do a single target attack since he gets a second attack. And then we'll finish it with a Heartbreaker Unibeam. Moving on to the very last battle against the computer, we're going to do an extended battle against 3 waves this time. After this, there will be a couple PvP battles, which shows off this team, and I'm even going to go ahead and leave the items the same on my agent, which should add to the difficulty. Now on my agent's turn, I'm going to go ahead and use Deflector Fist. I'm going to use it on one of the infiltrators. Infiltrators can get pretty annoying due to them gaining combat reflexes off of my Tactician Iron Man. Now Iron Man's turn's coming up, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and single target attack their blaster. And we're going to use his first ability, Repulsor Cannons. Now we're hoping we gain a follow-up attack. Oh, but he's called for backup. So that should finish him. Well, I actually gained a follow-up attack too. And there's my boys. So that went pretty well. And we should be able to take their infiltrator out. Moving on to the next wave, they should both be scrappers, which means my agent's going to do quite a bit of damage to them. But we're going to start out with the 21 gun salute. We're going to do damage and put radiation exposure on. And my agent's going to use Deflector Fist and gain Enraged. And each time he gains Enraged, the Deflector Fist should start doing a lot more damage. He also procced a shield, so that should help. Also, due to the mace, he's going to gain a lot more Enraged because the scrappers are going to be attacking him. And he's countering with the Nailgun. And it did okay damage there. My Nailgun's pretty out-leveled though, since I haven't reforged it. And I'm not even going to think about reforging any items until I hit level 300. And I got to level 220 today, so I'm getting there. Now let's see what Iron Man can do. We're going to use the high energy laser, and it takes them both out. That move does a lot of damage, and I like how all of their moves are pretty usable. I do use 21 gun salute a lot, but some of his other moves are usable as well. What we're going to do, since these are 2 bruisers, is full overcharge, and then unleash with the 21 gun salute times 3. And they shouldn't make it through the 3rd attack. So there's number 2, and I think this will finish them. And it does. So that's the end of that portion. Now it's on to the PvP segment. The first team we face has a team that I actually wanted to try out. I was going to use Rescue and Iron Man at some point together. So it's pretty cool that he has this team. It also looks like he has the Ram's Horn equipped. So he may have quite a few of the Stark Tech set. We're going to start out with the 21 gun salute and put some damage on his whole team and put that radiation exposure on. His Iron Man used Missile Bombardment, and we're going to see what Rescue does. Now Rescue's mainly a support character, but she's actually going to use her attack first, Flyby Attack, and then she gets to go again. But she went with another Flyby Attack, which is kind of weird. I thought maybe she'd use her Protect or her Shield. And already you can see my Iron Man and War Machine proc their shields. See, this happens a lot more often in PvP, and I'm not sure why. But it's a great damage reducer. Now on Iron Man's turn, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But I'm going to start out with a single target attack on their blaster. And then I'll get an extra attack. And I'm thinking I'm going to hit all of the enemies. But first he's getting a follow-up, okay. Now it's either Missile Bombardment or High Energy Laser. I think I'm going to go with the High Energy Laser just to see what type of damage it'll do. And it did a lot of damage. It took out their Iron Man and did good damage to the other 2. Now my agent's going to use Deflector Fist, and we're going to hit the Scrapper. And he didn't quite take him out, but at least he'll gain Enraged, and he may get a follow-up. But he didn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to full overcharge, and then we're going to fire 21 gun salute, and hopefully finish this battle. So the agent's gone, and now it's just down to Rescue. And we know the Rescue doesn't do a ton of damage, but we're not hurting her very much either. So she may actually live through this. But if she does, the dot should finish her. And she didn't make it, so that's it. This second battle was pretty scary. Magneto's probably one of the worst weaknesses for this team. he's going to magnetize everyone, and he's going to preemptive strike an awful lot. One of the good things is they do have a Scrapper Agent, and we have a Bruiser. And the other good thing is right there, the shields. Now the shields will completely nullify Quicksilver's damage for the most part. And both of my characters have procced it already. So he's not going to do too much damage. However, Magneto did just bust through both of their shields. For Iron Man's turn, we're going to go ahead and use the Missile Bombardment move, because it's going to hit them, it's stealthy, and it's going to put burning and bleeding on them. Then we're going to use Deflector Fist on their Scrapper to gain Enraged. Now on War Machine's turn, we gotta hope he does quite a bit of damage. We really need these characters to be hurt. And they're going to preemptively hit him for almost 9k. And this is why I was scared to fight Magneto with this team. The only good news is if I can beat this team with Magneto, then I should be able to beat just about any other team. Except maybe another team with Magneto and a more optimal setup. Like maybe a different armor on their agent and someone besides Quicksilver. I'm not too worried about it because I don't plan on using this exact team. And also, I'm definitely going to have better weapons and items on my agent. And that should be able to counteract it a little bit better. Now their agent went astral form, so that's really annoying. But they don't have any type of protect, so I'm pretty much just going to ignore them until it wears off. And the computer usually will break astral form, often by using the Sinister Sceptre again. Now you can see that the shield is popping up again on Iron Man, which pretty much stops Quicksilver from doing any damage to him. The character that we are worried about though is Magneto. And Magneto could definitely take out one of my characters. Luckily, I protected against the Electromagnetic Blast, and it didn't do that much damage because of my shield. Now it's going to be Iron Man's turn. And one thing we have to worry about is that preemptive attack from Magneto. So what we're probably going to do is use Missile Bombardment since it's stealthy. And that's pretty much the only reason why we keep using it. We don't want to get preemptively hit by Quicksilver or Magneto, and we don't really want Quicksilver to use his quickness, because that would result in a tag team, which would definitely take out War Machine. So there we were able to take out Quicksilver, and with War Machine we're pretty much expecting to get killed by Magneto before he attacks. But we're going to go ahead for the full overcharge and see what we can do. So let's see if he gets this attack off. And he's not going to, just as I pretty much assumed. But luckily their agent died from dots, and so does Magneto. So we were able to win against one of our counters. But anyways, that's going to be the end of this video. I want to ask you all to please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and please stay tuned for the next Adamantium Process episode, which will be released tomorrow.